Welcome to what I hope will be the most useful travel toiletries video that you will ever come across. If this is the first time using our channel, I'm Nicole, and usually I'm making travel videos with my partner Miko, but today we're gonna do a deep dive into my toiletries, so he decided to sit this one out because I think he would just do a lot of nodding and smiling as we talk about women's toiletries, so I'm flying solo today. Miko and I have been traveling full-time for the past year and a half, and in that time we've learned so much about the best travel gear to have and how to pack for travel, so let's just dive right in and I'll show you what's left in my toiletry kit after having refined it over the past year and a half of traveling. The first thing you're probably noticing is that I have two kits, and the reason for that is because this is like a really proper, classic hygiene kit, and it houses everything that I use on pretty much a daily basis. This guy is what I use to house everything that's sort of extra that I don't use every day. It's actually mostly like hair care items for when I wash my hair. So we'll go through this guy in a minute. Let's start with the everyday items. So this is what my hygiene kit looks like when she is full. And I will quickly say before I get into this that whether I was just going on like a trip for a weekend even, maybe a holiday for 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, or traveling long-term full-time like I am, this is actually still the same kit that I would pack. So first things up, deodorant. This is something that if I was heading on just maybe a weekend trip, I would perhaps bring a little less of. I bring floss with me when we travel. I know not everyone does, but I have it. Contact lens solution. So contacts can be a little tricky when you're abroad. We brought a ton with us when we left, and we went home for the holidays, and I restocked up on some more contacts. Depending on where you are in the world, contact lens solution can be a little difficult to get. We've never come up against a time where we couldn't find any, but there have been a few times that we were really low and it was a bit of a pinch. I've also got my hairbrush in here. Okay, so this used to be like a foldable hairbrush with a mirror on one side. This just pops out like that. It's not in the best of shape anymore, but actually it still worked really well. When the mirror fell off, I thought I might need to replace it, then I'm like, why? It's fine. The only thing is it's less of a handle. Like the mirror was kind of a nice little handle here. And now I don't have that, but it's fine. It works for me. And something that I absolutely love that is for my hair is called Puff Me. So this is a hair product that is exceptional for anyone who's traveling with only a carry-on. This is really the reason that I found this. For the first year of our travels, we traveled with exclusively carry-on. And of course that means obviously limits on liquids. It also means no aerosols. So that means no hairspray, no dry shampoo. So this Puff Me is like this little, it just has a little like, I'll show you. Ooh, can you see that? So this tiny bit of powder comes out of it. You just spray it into your hair and then it gives it a little bit of volume. So it's almost like a little bit of stickiness. Otherwise my hair is like super flat against my head, especially in humid weather. So this just gives it a little bit of oomph. I can kind of spruce it up and it has a little bit of volume to it. The next thing I have in this front pouch here is, this is actually, I think this was like some sort of electronics case, but what it houses now is my jewelry. So when I left Canada, I came with no jewelry, and the reason for that is because I love buying jewelry abroad as the souvenir that I bring with me. It's tiny, it's usually fairly inexpensive, and they can be like really specific to the region of the world you're in, so all my jewelry now really reminds me of like the places I've been, so I pick up earrings every now and again when I find something I like, and that's my little gift to myself as we travel the world. This guy. If you have seen any of our packing videos before, you've already seen this guy because this is one of my favorite products that I own. This is a makeup remover cloth. This is the brand Erase Your Face. I have been using this almost every day for a year and a half and it's still in great shape. And it is exactly what you think it is. You just get it wet and it washes away your makeup. I just use water with it. I don't use any product. And obviously the point of this is so that I don't have to bring makeup remover, so no liquids, again, to help with that carry-on limit. And then in addition to that, you're not having to find and buy makeup remover all over the world. Instead, you can just use this little guy. And then some more super common basics. Toothpaste, Miko and I just carry one for the two of us. Toothbrush, I will say when we first left to travel full-time, we had those like travel toothbrushes that were like, it was like a half size and you pulled out of its case and attached it to like the handle to make a full-size toothbrush. And that was fine. It worked really well, but eventually you need a new toothbrush. We just started to get regular toothbrushes and we just find these little caps. Definitely recommend you get a little cap for your toothbrush just to keep everything else clean in here. Okay, there are a couple small items left in here. So one of them is my razor. So this is a Flamingo brand. I like it. It's just easy because it's one of those ones that like has the handle and then I bought a bunch of different heads to go with it. I believe you can actually get this online. I found it at home, I think in like Walmart. But I should say that for all the products that I talk about here today, I will provide a link to them down in the description below. I'll fit as many as I can down there. And for any that I can't fit there, we do have a full packing list. Maybe you've seen our full packing video before. We have a full packing list. I'll link that down below. You can always click on that and just see everything that's in our backpack, including all of these items. Okay, let's finish this bottom section here of my toiletry kit. There's just 2 things left. A comb, and I've got a hair scrunchie in here. That actually empties out the whole bottom part of my main toiletry kit, which just leaves us with the top. I've got these 2 mesh pockets, and all I put in here actually is my makeup. So for makeup, what I carry is an eyebrow pencil, highlighter, this is just like something cheap from home that I have had forever, and of course a brush, eyelash curler, and mascara. I will say getting mascara in certain parts of the world can be really hard to get like good mascara. I've gotten it in a couple like Asian countries and it was just not the same thing. But a quick tip, if you are into certain like makeup brands or hair care products or something like that, one place where you can often get really high quality products while you're abroad anywhere in the world is actually the duty-free shops at airports. So as a worst case scenario, this is one thing that I have purchased before at a duty-free shop because I love this mascara. So it ends up being a little bit more expensive, but worth it if it's something you love. So another thing that I do use every day that belongs in a toiletry kit, but that isn't in mine because Miko carries it, is our bar soap. So bar soap is obviously very easy to get all around the world. And again, if you are traveling carry-on, you don't want to have to be bringing body wash with you because it'll contribute to your liquids limit. So best to be able to use a bar soap. And now we found these Matador soap cases that have just been absolute game changers for us. They've got a little clip on the back here and you just unclip this guy and it rolls up, kind of like a dry bag. And on the inside, you just put your soap inside, and when it's wet, you put your soap inside there wet, it dries it, even while it's in here. So it's fantastic, especially if you need to like use it in the morning and then just chuck it in the bag and you're gonna be packing your stuff up. It allows the soap to dry as it's in here and it doesn't get anything else wet or mucky or icky or soapy. So that's everything that's sort of in the day-to-day toiletry case. It's kind of a mess here now. Sorry. Oh, I'll show you this now. Okay, so this is our Sea to Summit toiletry kit. What we love most about this, I'd say, is how lightweight it is. There's nothing to this in terms of weight, but somehow it has really held up in the past 1.5 years, and I have really filled this thing, you guys. As you've seen, it just kind of opens from the top, and right away we've got the main pocket sort of in the bottom where I put my deodorant and hair puff, anything that's kind of more bulky. And then there's a nice mesh pocket. You can put more sort of thin things here like my razor and my toothbrush. And then you've got these 2 mesh pockets. I really like these. They're like almost like stretchy fabric. This mesh fabric is like stretchy. And I also feel like there is a bit of leeway there if you need something awkward in there. And that's why I put my eyelash curler in there because it's an awkward shape, but it just fits perfectly in there and doesn't stretch out the fabric. It also has a hook. Do not ever buy a hygiene kit without a hook. You'll find around the world that honestly putting your hygiene kit on the counter is often not an option, either because there is no counter or the counter is gross and you don't want to do that. But usually there's like a towel rack or a hook in the bathroom or even just like the shower rod curtain, something like that, shower curtain rod. And you can just put it up there as long as you have a hook. So you definitely need a hook. And then in the back, I've got another zipper. Oh, there's actually something back here that I forgot to show you, which is cotton swabs. So Q-tips, I just buy these wherever we are around the world. But there is that pocket in the back that you can keep something that's kind of slender back there. Now, we have the small size of these hygiene kits, but if you are interested in checking this guy out, there's also a medium size and a large size if you need something bigger. Okay, let's see what's in bag number 2. Like I said, these are things that I don't use every single day. They just kind of sit in a different pack because obviously they weren't gonna fit in this one, which is somehow very full. So, first things first, some more of those Matador soap packs, because like I said, we absolutely love them. I'll show you what's inside. So this is my shampoo and conditioner. This one's shampoo. This guy's conditioner. I love Atik hair products. So Atik is a brand out of New Zealand. The reason I love them is because they're so dedicated to like sustainability and reducing plastics and fair trade. I have been using their bar shampoo and conditioner for about 1.5 years, as long as I can get my hands on it. This is the product that I use. This is their conditioner. You can see it's a little squishy because I use it. And in addition to this, I got a sample size because family came to visit me from Canada and I made them bring me these Atik products again because I love them so much. I happened to get a sample size face scrub. This face scrub is fantastic. It's like, I would describe it like the most like subtle sandpaper you can buy, put into a cute little soap product, and then I just rub it all over my face and it feels like baby smooth skin. I love it, it's fantastic. So why do I have bar soap is again for carry-on. Originally it was for carry-on. Now it's just because I love bar soap and I think it's good for the world. But originally it was a solution to not having to carry so many liquids again. So I highly recommend, I mean, of course, especially if you're doing carry-on, to get bar shampoo and bar conditioner. But even if you're not, honestly, it is a fantastic solution to reduce the amount of plastic that you are consuming. The other huge benefit to using bar shampoo and conditioner, for me at least, is that these last me forever. If I were to buy like liquid shampoo and conditioner, I would have to be buying them all the time, especially if you're having to conform to the max 100 milliliter limit on all of your liquids for carry-on. But this bar of shampoo and conditioner, each one lasts me, I'd say, an average of about 5 months, one of these bars lasts me. And I wash my hair, I'd say an average of probably every 3 days. I've obviously got like fairly long hair, so this stuff goes really far. The next product is something that I came across, again, as a solution to a carry-on issue. So again, with carry-on, you can't bring aerosols. I wanted to bring a dry shampoo because I didn't want to have to wash my hair super frequently, but most dry shampoos are aerosol cans, so that wasn't going to work. So I found this guy, and this is just, it's a dry shampoo, but it's a powder. So instead of obviously spraying it on, I just boop, 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 through my hair and then work it through with my fingers. I think there is like about half of the bottle left, and I've been using this for 1.5 years. I don't need a lot of it, and to be fair, I don't have super greasy hair, which is helpful, but this is lasting me ages. The next 2 items are luxury items for me. They are not things that I actually left Canada with originally, but they're things I've accrued just because I love them. The first is a leave-in conditioner. Now, the reason I have this is actually because depending on what kind of region we're in the world, there have been lots of instances where we don't have warm water in the shower. And while I don't mind that generally, when you're washing your hair with cold water, I just like have no interest and I just want to get the shower over really fast. So by having a leave-in conditioner, I just don't need to condition my hair in the shower. I just shampoo it and I walk out and I put my conditioner in and I call that a day when it's just a little too chilly to stay in the water. So definitely a luxury item, not something that I need to have, something that I like to have. And the second luxury item is, again, a Moroccan oil product, and it's just a hair oil. Having a hair oil just kind of allows me to go longer in between haircuts, which is something that I don't love to get abroad. It just makes me really anxious. I get so nervous that like with the language barrier, I'm gonna really ruin a haircut one of these days, so I try to avoid haircuts. So this is to help with not having to get as many haircuts. All right, there's just a few things left in here. I have a hand cream. This is again something from Canada, but obviously hand cream, you just get that wherever you are around the world. I also carry Vaseline. Thankfully, this is actually super easy to get around the world as well. Everyone seems to have Vaseline. They even usually have it in these tubs. Nail clippers, of course. This is a nail file. I used to have 2 of these. And I had one in a bag that I brought onto the plane as like a carry-on bag recently. And although it has always been in my carry-on bag, and I have never in 1.5 years had a problem with having a metal nail file, they finally took it away from me. So you probably shouldn't have a metal nail file if you're doing carry-on only. You should probably just get the cheaper, bendy ones. I just love this. But for 1.5 years, they let me through with one of them. Now I'm just down to 1 instead of 2, which is kind of sad, but it's fine. I've also got hair elastics and bobby pins in here. And as I'm going through this, I'm realizing that I'm missing my tweezers. I think I just, yeah. Just forgot them. I've got a pair of tweezers as well. And that's everything. Like I was saying, I think whether I was traveling for like a weekend or full-time like I am right now, I think this is actually still the same amount of stuff that I would bring if I wanted to like have everything that I need. Okay, now this bag is empty. I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's just a regular old packing cube. It has a zipper on either side. It's actually really big. There's a lot of room in there. So if I really need to like stuff it full of something, I can. So, okay, that's that guy. Now, something that you might be noticing is not included in my hygiene kit is menstrual products. So for me, just with the contraceptive method that I've chosen, I actually don't have to deal with menstruation, which is wonderful when you're full-time traveling. But if it is something that you need to deal with, my suggestion would be a menstrual cup. I know lots of women travelers talk about using a menstrual cup. It's a great option. One of the reasons it's such a good option is actually because trying to get certain feminine hygiene products abroad can be really difficult. So tampons in particular, I know we spent quite a bit of time in the Middle East in 2021, and you just don't see tampons anywhere. I couldn't find them. So it can be a little difficult to get certain products abroad. So keep that in mind as you are planning your trip. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have an extra second, I would love if you'd pop down into the comments and tell me, what is your favorite travel hygiene item? Maybe it is something that I've talked about here today. Maybe it is something completely new to me. Either way, I would love to hear from you. And on your way down to the comment section, you're gonna pass that subscribe button. Please consider giving it a push if you haven't already. In the next video, I promise Mika will be joining me again, and we'll both see you there.